At the barbecue, I tried to keep things light, the way you talk to strangers when you're trapped in an elevator. I set the bottle of red on the picnic table and said, "I can't wait for our vacation." I meant nothing dramatic. 3 days in a cheap cabin with quiet and coffee and the sound of wind moving through pines. My father laughed first, that polished, hollow laugh he uses before landing something sharp. "It's only for family, without you," he said, and the patio roared like someone had told the funniest joke of the summer. My sister, Tara, wheezed. Matt slapped his knee. My mother raised her glass, smiling the way people smile for cameras and denials. I didn't break. I nodded as if I'd misheard and stood. The wine stayed corked on the table. I walked to the gate, past the grill and the folding chairs and the cooler full of clattering ice, and kept walking until their laughter was a memory I could fold in half. 5 days later, my mother reached for what she considered hers, $5,000, only to find the card dead and the account carrying a new name. Their group chat bloomed into sirens. I didn't respond. The story didn't end the way they expected because it hadn't started where they thought. It had been growing for years. Small cuts I bandaged with excuses because we shared a last name. I teach 4th grade. My days smell like pencil shavings and dry erase markers, cafeteria pizza and rain-soaked coats. Kids hand me broken things. A snapped pencil, a friendship that needs tape, a pride that needs dusting. Fixing is my native language. It followed me home. I drove 40 minutes to wrangle their Wi-Fi, paid a plumber when the faucets hissed, bought groceries when Mom texted that her card mysteriously glitched. They said thank you and posted photos of family dinners without tagging me. Being useful once felt like belonging. Somewhere along the line, belonging became a bill due every weekend. Emily saw it before I did. She files vacations into neat spreadsheets and remembers to bring a sweater to summer movies. Last spring she said, "They only call when something breaks." I laughed and told her guilt is just our family's dialect. She didn't laugh back. Colorado was supposed to be a pause button. I didn't post a single photo. My cousin did. One snapshot of Emily and me, cheeks pink from firelight. 2 days later my phone filled up. Tara wrote, "Must be nice to forget your family." Matt added, "You've changed." My mother chimed in with a sentence wrapped in sugar and knives. "We're always here for you, but when you have time off you run away like we don't exist." They turned a cheap cabin into betrayal art. By the end of the week, I was cast as the selfish daughter who abandoned the tribe. Emily warned me not to go to the barbecue. "It feels like a setup," she said. Then Mom called, voice bright as the good china she keeps in boxes. "Just family," she promised. So I went, because promises still mean something to me. The yard smelled like charcoal and cut grass. Dad stood at the grill with tongs like a scepter. Matt leaned on the cooler, already 2 beers in. Tara scrolled through her phone with dramatic boredom. Mom set the table, humming the tune she uses when she's rehearsing a scene. I showed up with decent wine and a better attitude. Nobody said hello. I tried small talk about the weather and Matt's new job. He grunted like a gate refusing to open. Tara giggled at something on her screen, and then at me. The silence around the table felt choreographed, as if we were waiting for a line already written. When Dad threw the punchline, "Only for family, without you," it landed like a rehearsed cue. For one stretched second I looked around that patio and saw the pattern from the outside. Exclusion as entertainment, humiliation as sport, belonging dangled on a string. They wanted me small, apologetic, useful. I gave them none of it. I said, "Got it," calm as a librarian, stood, and left the unopened wine like a tip they hadn't earned. In the car, my hands shook, not with rage, but with a cleaner thing, clarity. I'd spent years patching their holes, fronting their bills, letting them print the receipts of my effort as proof we were close. In one sentence they told me my place, the outside looking in. I drove home with the windows down and the radio off and opened my banking app at the kitchen counter. The joint account sat there under the soft focus name we'd given it years ago when helping was supposed to be temporary. I didn't close it. I wanted to see what they would try when I offered nothing. The attempt came on the 5th morning. Withdrawal request, $5,000. The number blinked like a dare. I called the bank, blocked the card, and when the rep asked if I wanted to report fraud, I said, "It's family," and heard how strange that sounded aloud. After the confirmation email arrived, I tapped the account name, Family Fund, deleted the letters, and typed 3 words, Pay without me. I stared at the phrase long enough to feel it settle inside my ribs. Then I hit save. My phone lit up. Mom, did you touch the account? Dad, fix this. Tara, LMAO. Matt, grow up. I took one screenshot, the account name and the failed transaction, and sent it to the group chat without a caption. Then I put my phone face down and went for a walk. The late summer air hung heavy, the sky threatening thunder. For the first time in years, my mind wasn't writing apologies I didn't owe. By lunchtime, the thread had grown teeth. Mom wrote, "We needed that money for the holidays." Dad followed with, "After everything we've done for you?" Tara added 3 crying laughing emojis and a screenshot of the rejection notice from the bank, as if my boundaries were a meme. I archived the conversation like a document I might someday hand a lawyer. The next day, the school secretary buzzed my classroom. "There's a Mrs. Brooks here," she said. "Says it's urgent." I stepped into the hallway. Mom stood there with her purse tucked into her elbow like a trophy. "You blocked the card?" she asked, voice trembling in all the right places. "Yes. We just needed it for the holidays." "You tried to take $5,000 without asking," I said. "It was for the family." I told her she'd already defined family and placed me outside it. She blinked, surprised I remembered. 2 nights later, I came home to my apartment door ajar. I thought I'd forgotten to lock it until I heard voices. Mom and Dad were in my living room. Tara sprawled on my couch, shoes off, half a bag of chips bleeding crumbs across my coffee table. "What are you doing here?" I asked. "You weren't answering," Mom said, smoothing her dress as if I were a camera. "Because you tried to steal from me," I said. Dad stepped forward, using that thick parental tone he saves for control. "Watch your attitude. We're your parents." "Then act like it," I said. Emily appeared in the doorway with a paper bag of takeout. "You broke in," she said evenly. "That's not okay." "This is family business," Mom snapped. I opened the door wide and pointed to the hallway. "Get out." Tara laughed without looking up. "Drama queen." I repeated myself. They left, finally, with the air of people victimized by a locked gate. Boundaries alone aren't a plan. After they'd gone, I called Aunt Denise, my mother's sister, the family's favorite villain. She answered on the second ring. "I was wondering when you'd call," she said. Her small house smelled like cedar and strong coffee. Before I could explain, she handed me a fat manila folder. "Your mother's been running the same play for years," she said. Inside were photocopies of checks, transfers, and IOUs written in a familiar looping hand. 10,000 for a roof repair that coincided with photos of a resort. 5,000 for a medical emergency that looked a lot like a cruise. "She tells everyone different stories," Denise said. "She told them I was unstable. She told me that about you." I murmured. Denise laughed. "Of course she did. It helps to discredit whoever remembers the math." We spent hours mapping the pattern. Borrow, guilt, spend, deny. "If you push back," she warned, "they'll hate you." I smiled for the first time all week. They already do. Denise had a friend in financial compliance who showed me how to sever every tie, remove emergency contacts, lock down insurance, close every mutual account. I kept records of messages and screen grabs. I hired a lawyer named Clara who had eyes like a surgeon and patience like stone. "We start with a no-contact order if they keep showing up," she said. "And we document everything." They did keep showing up, if not in person, then in new costumes. 2 weeks into the standoff, the district emailed me. Anonymous complaint alleging I was emotionally unstable and creating a hostile classroom. My hands went cold. I forwarded the email to Denise. By the next afternoon, she called. "Got her. Tara's dorm Wi-Fi. No VPN. Amateur hour." I brought the packet, complaint, timestamps, texts to Clara. She walked it to HR herself. The district cleared me within days and added a note to my file. My principal apologized in the quiet way administrators apologize. "Take a few days off if you need." I taught spelling the next morning and slept without waking to a buzzing phone. The family group chat kept trying new keys. Dad sent paragraphs about respect. Mom sent 3-word texts that read like curses. "You'll regret this." I muted the thread and let it starve. Denise posted a few old photos, not tagged, not captioned. My parents in casino bars and resort pools during the months they'd sworn they couldn't afford groceries. Cousins messaged me privately. "Is this real?" I said only, "I'm done paying." Mom came to my door once more with her brother Brian, who wore sunglasses at dusk and crossed his arms like a rented bodyguard. "We came to make peace," she said. "We canceled the trip." "I'm not going anywhere with you," I answered. "If you come again uninvited, I'll file." Brian scoffed. "You'd threaten your own mother?" "I'm protecting my life," I said. Mom's face went through stages: shock, pity, contempt. "You've changed," she said, as if growth were a crime. "I have," I said. "And I'm not sorry." Change needs a home, so Emily and I found one. A second-floor apartment where morning slides across the kitchen tile and evenings open onto a small balcony above a park. We packed in a single weekend. When the new lock clicked, a tightness in my chest finally loosened. Denise came by with pizza and the cheapest red on the shelf. We ate on the floor. "They'll keep talking," she warned. "They always need a villain." I looked at the blank wall and imagined nothing written on it. "Let them," I said. "I'm not in their story anymore." That night, after washing the grease from my hands, I opened my banking app one last time. The old joint account, now empty and quiet, still wore the name I'd given it in a moment of clean anger. Pay without me. I could have deleted it. I left it there like a small monument. Proof that silence can be louder than fireworks, that closing a door can echo longer than slamming one. School settled back into the rhythm I love. Morning greetings, tiny dramas about lost crayons and unfair line cuts, the daily miracle of a child sounding out a word that refused them yesterday. I kept a mug in my desk drawer and a photo of the Colorado mountains on the filing cabinet. Some afternoons, when the sun hit just right, the classroom looked like a place nothing toxic could reach. 2 months later, curiosity tapped at me. I didn't reopen the family chat. I deleted it. No goodbye. No last speech. Just gone. The quiet that followed used to scare me. Now it sounded like a room I finally owned. On a Friday night, Emily and I ate pizza on the balcony with our knees pressed together and paper plates balanced on the railing. The city breathed below us. "You think they'll ever apologize?" she asked. I shook my head. Apologies require belief. They'd have to believe they did something wrong. She smiled into her glass. "Then I guess you already won." I don't know if victory is the right word. It feels more like oxygen. I wake up without a knot in my throat. I teach without rehearsing defenses. I pay the bills I owe and only those. When my phone buzzes now, it's a parent sending a thank you, a friend sharing a joke, Emily asking if we need milk. Sometimes I look at the account name and let the words settle again. Pay without me. It isn't revenge anymore. It's a boundary written in simple present tense. People say family is forever. Maybe the sentence is missing a clause. Family is forever, if it behaves like family. If it doesn't, you're allowed to choose another definition, another home, another future that doesn't bill you for entry. They told me I wasn't family. They meant it as a punishment. I took it as permission. So this is the part where I ask you something. If the people who claim you as theirs keep taking until your life is a receipt with nothing left to itemize, would you finally close the account? Would you rename it the way I did and let the silence do the talking? Because sometimes the strongest answer isn't a speech or a slammed door. Sometimes it's a quiet click in a banking app and the soft, steady sound of your own life beginning again.